The champagne flute shattered in my hand, a jagged constellation of glass biting into my palm. The room spun, laughter and clinking glasses muffling into a dull roar as my wife's voice sliced through the haze. "We're trying an open marriage. It's liberating, don't you think?" Her words, casual as a tossed napkin, landed like a grenade in the center of the crowded loft. Faces turned, curious, amused, some slyly knowing. My chest tightened, a vice clamping my ribs. I forced a smile, the kind that stings like a fresh cut, and scanned the room for her eyes. They weren't on me. They were on him, Elliot, our friend of a decade, whose gaze lingered on her like she was a painting he'd just noticed was a masterpiece. The party was in full swing, a glittering chaos of Brooklyn's artsy elite. Exposed brick walls glowed under string lights, the air thick with cedarwood cologne and the tang of artisanal gin. My wife, Lila, stood by the bar, her auburn hair catching the light like a flare, her laugh a melody I'd memorized over 12 years. She wore that emerald dress, the one that hugged her curves like a lover's hands, and I'd felt a flicker of pride when we arrived. Now that pride curdled into something sour, something that tasted like bile and betrayal. I dabbed my bleeding hand with a cocktail napkin, the red seeping through like an accusation. She didn't tell me. The thought clawed at my skull, raw and jagged. We'd talked about openness once, late at night, wine-drunk and hypothetical, a playful what if that ended in laughter and tangled sheets. But this was a public declaration, a spotlight on a secret I didn't know we were keeping. I watched her lean closer to Elliot, her hand brushing his arm, his smile too warm, too genuine. My stomach lurched. Was this why she'd been distant lately? The late nights at her studio, the vague texts, the way her kisses felt like afterthoughts? I moved through the crowd, a ghost in my own life, the chatter around me a dull hum. "Evan, you okay?" someone asked, a colleague, maybe their face a blur. I nodded, my jaw tight, and kept moving toward the bar. I needed to hear it from her. I needed to know if this was a performance, a spur-of-the-moment provocation, or something worse, something planned. "Lila," I said, my voice low, a tether to keep me grounded. She turned, her eyes catching mine, and for a moment, I saw the girl I'd married. Wide-eyed, fierce, the one who'd cried in my arms when her father died. But then her smile shifted, a polished thing like she was auditioning for a role I didn't cast her in. "Evan, you're bleeding," she said, reaching for my hand. Her touch was warm, familiar, but it sparked no comfort. I pulled back, the napkin now a soggy crimson wad. "What was that about?" I asked, my voice steady despite the tremor in my chest. "An open marriage? When did we decide that?" Her brows flicked up, a flash of surprise, or was it guilt? Before she laughed, light and airy like I'd misheard a joke. "Oh, come on, it's just party talk. Loosen up, Ev." She sipped her drink, her eyes darting to Elliot, who was now chatting with a sculptor across the room. But I saw it, the way his glance lingered on her, the way hers answered. "Don't bullshit me," I said, quieter now, the words a blade I hadn't meant to wield. The party pulsed around us, oblivious, but the air between us crackled. "You didn't even look at me when you said it. You looked at him." Her face hardened just for a second, before softening into something practiced. "Evan, you're overreacting." It was a comment, not a contract. But her voice wavered, a hairline crack in her composure. She stepped closer, her perfume, jasmine and something sharper, flooding my senses. "Let's not do this here." "Then when?" I pressed, my heart hammering. "When you're sneaking out to meet him. When you're texting him at 2 a.m. The accusation slipped out unbidden, fueled by weeks of unease I'd buried under rationalizations. "She's busy. She's stressed. She loves me." But now those excuses felt like lies I'd told myself. Her eyes widened, and for a moment I thought I'd caught her. But then she laughed again, sharper this time, like broken glass. "You're paranoid. Elliot's our friend. You've known him forever." She touched my arm, but it felt like a prop, a gesture to pacify. "Let's go home, okay? We'll talk." I didn't move. My eyes flicked to Elliot, now laughing with the sculptor but stealing glances our way. I remembered the late-night texts I'd glimpsed on her phone, the ones she'd dismissed as work stuff, the way she'd started locking her studio door, the way Elliot had been at every event she dragged me to lately, his charm a little too bright, his attention a little too focused. The room felt smaller now, the walls closing in, the string lights blurring into halos. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but the crowd pressed around us, their laughter a mockery of my unraveling. "Lila," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "Are you sleeping with him?" Her silence was a blade, clean and deep. Her lips parted, but no words came. Her eyes, those eyes I'd drowned in 1,000 times, flickered with something I couldn't name. Guilt? Defiance? Pity? Then she looked away, and that was answer enough. The world tilted. I saw us years ago dancing in our tiny apartment, her head on my chest, promising forever. I saw her now slipping through my fingers like smoke. And I saw Elliot waiting in the wings, his interest no longer a friendly jest but a quiet claim. "I need air," I muttered, turning away before she could respond. I pushed through the crowd, the weight of their eyes like stones. Outside, the Brooklyn night was sharp, the air biting my lungs. I leaned against a lamppost, my bleeding hand throbbing, my heart a bruise. I wanted to hate her, to hate him, but all I felt was a hollow ache, a question I wasn't ready to answer. What now? Then I heard footsteps. Lila, her dress catching the streetlight, her face a mix of fear and resolve. "Evan, wait," she called, her voice trembling. I turned, expecting an apology, a confession, something to stitch us back together. But her next words shattered me anew. "I didn't mean for you to find out like this," she said, tears glinting in her eyes. "But I'm not sorry. I've been drowning, Evan. And Elliot, he sees me." The truth landed like a fist, and in that moment I knew our marriage wasn't open. It was over.